Welcome to the Saturday Cup of Joe podcast. This podcast is dedicated to EAS employees of the U.S. Postal Service and members of the National Association of Postal Supervisors. So, pour yourself a cup of coffee and join us for today's episode. And now, here's your host, Robert Wakefield.
Good morning, Branch 32. And good morning, Naps family. Wherever you're listening, thank you so much for being a part of the Saturday Cup of Joe podcast presented by the Nashville Post Office Credit Union. This is going to be a great show today. I'm really excited about it, but let me tell you who I am. I'm Robert Wakefield. I am the president of Branch 32. That's right. Thank you very much. All right. Let's go ahead and let's pour that first cup. It's never too early to start a financial adventure. This summer, we're helping our youngest members reach for the stars with a special boost to their savings. Open a new youth savings account with us and watch how fast your money grows. As a bonus, we will add $25 to your child's youth savings account when it's opened and enter them into a drawing for a chance to win a new iPad. The Nashville Post Office Credit Union, people helping people since 1925. And for our first cup this morning, we have a very special guest as part of our Caffeine and Candidates series here at the Saturday Cup of Joe. He's been on the program before, and boy, when he was on, it was just incredible. You know him, you love him. You can't live without him. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Chuck Mulidor to the program. Chuck, how are you?
Well, I want to come on more often so I can hear that you know him, you love him part. I just can't get enough of that, Robert. But
yeah, it sounds really
great
good.
to be on again with you. I really appreciate the opportunity to talk with you on your podcast.
Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about your career in NAPS, because you have been in NAPS for how long?
Well, I since 1998 when I got promoted out of ASP. It was a great program back in the day, ASP, right. And I got out of that and joined right up with NAPS.
Well, that is 1998. You've been in that long. That's amazing to me. And then you've had quite a career as far as your officers, being an officer in NAPS. Talk about that for just a second.
Yeah, so after I got promoted, someone said to me, "Hey, you should join NAPS." And I said, "Well, I don't even know what that is." And they said, "Well, come to a meeting. We have free pizza and beer." So I'm like, "Well, okay, I'm in, right?" So that was the hook that got me there. Well, so I went to the meeting and I walked out of the meeting as the vice president of the branch. I'm not sure how that happened, but I guess they were looking for a vice president, and some guy didn't know what he was doing would be a perfect person for that.
Sure. So, yeah. If you miss a meeting, that's what happens. You get voted for things.
That's what happens, right? Don't go out, right? Don't step out of the room for anything. So, but it actually turned out to be a great thing. I was hooked on it from that point on, and later on became the branch president in Youngstown, Ohio, branch 133, and then became the state president, the Ohio state president in 2005, and ran for the executive board as the Pioneer Area Vice President in 2008. Was fortunate enough to be elected to that. And in 2014, I became the Eastern Region Vice President.
Wow.
Which covers 11 states or so on the East Coast, Midwest. And 2016, I ran for Secretary Treasurer and was blessed to be elected to that position. And in 2021, I was elected as the executive vice president. So it's been quite a great run for sure.
Yeah, it's been a great journey for you. Now talk about the executive vice president position that you are leaving. What did you think was one of your finest or greatest achievements as executive vice president?
Well, I got to say, first of all, we stand on the shoulders of those who came before us, right? We've had a lot of great vice presidents that have kind of built a platform that we all stand on. And that's been the case for me, going back several vice presidents from Ivan, who was executive vice president, to Louis and Ted and so forth, Vince Palladino, who all were vice presidents and elevated themselves eventually to president. But I think one of the things that I wanted to work on the most when I became vice president, which has the legislative portfolio, right, for the organization, was that we become much more, bipartisan. So we began to reach out to a lot more Republicans. Not that we didn't reach out to some before, but I began to reach out to almost anyone in that, because I felt like rural America, which is largely where a lot of Republican members of Congress are concentrated, hadn't heard our message, didn't know enough about us. And I thought if and when they did, they would agree with us on a lot of issues, and became a mission of ours. And by the way, Republicans were controlling both houses of Congress and ultimately the presidency. So if we didn't work with Republicans, we would never get anything done.
Oh, exactly.
So we did a broad outreach to that. And I think you see some of the results of that at LTS. We always have a bipartisan menu of congressmen and senators come to our events. We've been fortunate to be asked to speak at the House Postal Caucus, which is a very bipartisan Democrat-Republican group. And so I think that outreach to Republicans has really paid off for us. We've had a lot of influence, and I often say, we punch above our weight on the Hill, because we're not a big pack, but we have a lot of footwork in the game. We're up on the Hill a lot, talking a lot, meeting people a lot.
Sure.
People who would never thought we would ever become friends with, so to speak, we have, and we make great relationships on both sides of the aisle. So for me, I think it's the accomplishment I'm most proud of, is that bipartisan outreach that's really paid, I think, a lot of dividends for our organization on the Hill.
That is so good. And so now the question that comes to mind is that you've been the executive vice president for a while, and Ivan announced his retirement. So you are going for the president's job, and I guess the question is, why? Why do you want that?
Sometimes I ask myself that question, Robert.
Yeah, why do you want to do that?
Right, and you're right. Ivan announced he was not going to run for president for 5 years, and he's been a great president, a great mentor, great friend of mine over the years, going well back, probably over 20-some years we've been friends. So I felt like I wanted to do a couple of things, and a membership-based campaign, a membership-based presidency around really just two issues, two main focus, that to continue what we've done so well for the last 5 years, which I think we've done some good things for the last 5 years. Our pay for performance raises over 23% cumulative over the 5 years, which is much better than we've had ever before.
Right.
Almost 2,600 relief supervisors in the plants, customer service, logistics, which is a great win for us. 1,000 jobs in the SWIX, and Jimmy Warden heads our SWIX team. So that's been a great benefit to us. Improvements in annual leave carryover exchange. And last year in our pay consultations, we were able to positively impact boxes on the NPA that impacted 68% of our members with 0.5% more. So these are positive things that we've done over the last 5 years that I wanted to continue moving forward with that. But I also thought it was important that people should know what I want to do as president, what would be my vision in specifics, not generalities, not say we want to support our members. We all want to do that, but how do you do it?
Right.
So, we hear a lot of chatter about a lot of different things, but I think that if you're going to run a member-based campaign, you have to understand what the members are telling us. And you know this, Robert, you're a branch president. I know you hear all the time. What are our members most concerned about? How they're being treated.
Exactly.
How they're being talked to. They're being disciplined. They're being threatened. They're being harassed. And why? Why is that? What culture has taken over the Postal Service where this is now the first thing I want to react to? The first thing I want to do is go to discipline. I want to threaten folks. What's creating that culture? And I think we have to address that. So I have a specific plan to do that, because I think it's important people know the specifics of what a person wants to do. And I want to create an executive board level committee, because leadership starts at the top, right? At the very top of every organization.
Right.
And we're going to work with members in the field. And I understand they can't often put their name to paper, so to speak, on these types of issues, but they can sure tell us what's going on. Isolate these areas, call them out, not so that anybody gets fired. It's not about hoping that we get some POOM or district manager fired. It's not about that. It's about understanding, why are you talking to people this way, and what benefit does that have for you when people are feeling demoralized and upset and angry. This is not conducive to helping a postal service that's in this deep financial crisis that it's in right now. So
exactly,
that is the number one thing for me that I want to attack. It's been going on for way too long. And I remember a time, Robert, when it wasn't this way, right?
Right.
Back in my day, we're talking even before I was in ASP, I was a 204B for 5 years. And I thought I was a pretty good 204B. Maybe my boss didn't think I was as good as some others, but I thought I was pretty darn good, right?
Right.
And so promotions were coming up, and I wasn't getting promoted. This is prior to ASP. And I finally went to see the postmaster. I said, hey, I'm one of your better guys. I'm working hard. I'm doing the job, and yet I keep getting passed over. And he said, Chuck, you're doing a good job for me, but it's just not your turn. It's not your time yet. Just be patient. Your time will come. That's because there was 5 or 6 or 7 other people ahead of me. They've been doing it for longer than me. And nowadays, how many people are waiting in line to become a supervisor? Probably very few. Right. So we've got to fix that. And I think we can do that with leadership at the top of the organization. And another piece of it, I really want to expand the Snaps Training Academy. It was an idea that Ivan had, and then in the conversation with Jimmy and I, we recognized it's something that we're lacking. We're not talking about doing Zoom training and things like that. This is building a library, a repository of information where a person can access YouTube videos or PowerPoint materials and Zoom calls, different things like this that we can have at our members' fingertips, so to speak, so they don't have to travel 100 miles for a training event or take a day off or things like that. They can get access to that. Not just NAPS things, not just disciplinary protections and so forth, but how do I do a report? All these reports in the Postal Service. I hear many times from people, Chuck, I got this Power BI report. I'm not sure how to do it. Well, but neither do I, but I know someone who does.
Exactly.
So we can have this library of information on how to do a report. Maybe you don't know how to do this particular type of report, and you need to find out how to do it. You don't want to reach out to anybody. Well, hey, I'll go to NAPS Training Academy on the membership page, and I'll find out how to do it. So these are the things that are membership-based, what our membership is telling us that they need and that they want, and that will make their work life better. And if we make their work life better, we'll make their entire life better. So
exactly.
And if we can do these things, and Robert, I know we can. Now, is it going to be easy? Absolutely not. It will be the toughest thing we've probably ever undertaken, the most difficult thing. But that's exactly why we should do it, because it's difficult. It's hard. We don't need to be doing the easy things. Anybody can do that. We have to do the hard things. We have to take on these hard tasks because this is what our members want and need us to do. So that, and then just the normal protection, we have to watch out for our postmasters that are, in many cases, that are under attack right now. Maybe having some of their officers downgraded or turned into RMPOs, things like that. So
right.
A lot of these issues that are out there, and I want to make sure people know exactly what I feel about all of these issues so that they know, if they choose to vote for me, exactly what I want to do and what my vision is for the organization moving forward.
That's so good. Now, we've got a few more minutes to talk, so tell me, what does day one look like for Chuck Mulidor as president of NAPS? What would you do?
Well, the first thing we have to do is set up some type of meetings with leadership at Postal Headquarters, so definitely want to get in touch with the Deputy Postmaster General, Doug Tolino. Much of what goes on in the organization runs through Doug, and we have to set up some time to meet with him. Absolutely want to set up a meeting and contact with the Postmaster General, Mr. Steiner. And we really only met him at LTS. Right. A very brief conversation there. He was very engaging with us, told us that he wanted to speak with us and see us. So I'm going to put that to the test. And if we have to go find him wherever he's at in Houston or wherever he is, we'll go there.
There you go.
But I think it's important that we reach out and start that outreach with the Postal Service, with postal leadership, and then move on from there. Start implementing these plans, these aggressive plans that I have to make the work life of our members better. I think that all starts on day one, because we have to have a plan for it and a way to implement this vision and this program that I want to bring to our membership. So day one will be a busy day, but it's the first day, and we'll start there.
Okay. Well, that sounds fantastic. Well, Chuck, thank you so much for being on the Saturday Cup of Joe. Before we go, though, I've been asking every candidate the most important question of the day. Are you ready?
I'm absolutely ready.
Okay. The question is, how do you drink your coffee? Do you drink it black or do you drink it with stuff in it?
I drink it with cream and sugar.
You drink your coffee.
Half and half in sugar, yeah.
Yeah, cream and sugar. Yeah, see, that's the right answer. I've been getting some of these candidates that tell me they're putting all this stuff in it. I don't know.
I often get teased by Ivan and Jimmy because they say my coffee is too weak. It's like tea. And they drink this strong New York, Philadelphia coffee that, will just grow hair on your chest if you drink too much of it. So
that's exactly.
I take mine with cream and sugar, and that's how it is.
Okay. Well, that's a great thing. Well, listen, we're going to see you in a couple of weeks, and we will talk to you there at the National Convention. Good luck to you on your chances for getting elected. I hope you do well.
Absolutely, Robert. Appreciate the opportunity to speak with all of your many, I know, listeners out there. So looking forward to seeing you and others out in San Francisco in a few weeks now.
There's at least 10 listeners, at least 10.
I think it's a lot more than that, but we'll take all 10 and then more.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Chuck.
All right, sure. Thank you very much, Robert.
This summer, cool off with a little something sweet from your friends at the Nashville Post Office Credit Union. From June through August, just stop by the credit union and enjoy free ice cream. Oh my goodness, if Brian Wagner lived in Tennessee. It's our way of saying thank you for being a part of our postal family. And while you're here, let us help you make your money work a little easier with honest service, great rates, and people who know you by name. The Nashville Post Office Credit Union. People helping people since 1925. And for our second cup today, let's continue the summer tradition of looking at obscure holidays for the month. Today is August the 1st. Incredible. Where is this year going? We are about a week away from the start of the National Convention. Very, very excited about that. But let's talk about these obscure holidays first. Today is, like I said, August the 1st, and I don't know why you would make this particular day Campfire Day when the dog days of summer are here. I don't understand that, but I don't make this stuff up. Okay, so August 1st is Campfire Day. Let's look at August the 2nd. It's Find a Four-Leaf Clover Day. Oh, boy. You can do that tomorrow. Find a four-leaf clover. That is so good. Of course, August the 3rd is National Watermelon Day, followed by August the 4th, which is National Chocolate Chip Cookie Day. Absolutely love a good chocolate chip cookie. On August the 6th, we have National Fresh Breath Day. I'm reading this off, I'm not making this stuff up. And finally, on August the 7th, I have to share this one with you because this is so good. It is National Lighthouse Day. So there you go. There are some of the obscure holidays coming up this week. I want to thank Chuck Mulidor for being on the Saturday Cup of Joe podcast. Today, he is running for the presidency of the National Association of Postal Supervisors, and we will be gathering next Saturday. That's when people will start arriving to be at the 70th National Convention. So that's going to do it for today's episode of the Saturday Cup of Joe podcast, presented by the Nashville Post Office Credit Union. Hey, we're on YouTube. NAPS Branch 32 is our page. Go there, listen to us there, like, subscribe, and share. Also, wherever you get your podcast, you will be able to find the Saturday Cup of Joe. So please do that. Share it with your branch, and I really do appreciate that. So, as always, I'm Robert Wakefield, and remember, Every great weekend starts with a great cup of Joe. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for tuning in to the Saturday Cup of Joe podcast. Please note that the views and opinions expressed in this podcast are solely those of Robert Wakefield and do not necessarily reflect the views of the National Association of Postal Supervisors. We welcome your questions and comments, so send those to SaturdayCupofJoe@gmail.com.